It started as an ordinary Tuesday morning at Sweet Rewards Bakery. I was pulling a fresh batch of cranberry scones from the oven when my phone buzzed. The text was chilling. "Tell your husband he has 24 hours to pay the $50,000 or we're coming for the bakery." My knees gave out, sending trays of pastries clattering to the floor as Emma's voice echoed faintly in the background. That was the moment I discovered the secret my husband had been hiding, and the devastating truth that could cost us everything. For 15 years, I'd built Sweet Rewards into Portland's go-to bakery, while my husband Mark traveled the country as a pharmaceutical sales representative. We had it all: the historic Craftsman House, retirement plans, and Emma's NYU fund. The signs were there: mysterious late-night calls, constant business trips to Las Vegas and Atlantic City, his insistence on handling all our finances after my first heart attack. "Mrs. Anderson, your credit card was declined again." The pharmacy technician's words echoed in my ears as I clutched my heart medication prescription. The fluorescent lights of Walgreens seemed to buzz louder than usual, matching the growing anxiety in my chest. Third time this week, same prescription, same apologetic smile from the young technician whose name tag read Sarah. "There must be some mistake," I stammered, digging through my purse for another card. "I just paid the bill last week." My fingers trembled as they brushed past expired store loyalty cards and crumpled receipts. The line behind me grew longer. I could feel the impatient shuffling of feet, the weighted sighs of customers checking their watches. My phone pinged, another fraud alert. My stomach dropped as I read the notification. $5,000 withdrawal, Bellagio Casino, Las Vegas, Nevada, 2:47 p.m. I checked the time, 2:50 p.m., 3 minutes ago. The same time Mark was supposed to be presenting at a medical conference in Boston. The same Mark who had insisted on keeping all our credit card passwords to protect me from financial stress after my first heart attack. The prescription bottle from last month rattled in my purse. Only 2 pills left. Enough for today and tomorrow. "I'll come back," I told Sarah, trying to keep my voice steady as the room started to spin. Not from my heart condition this time, but from the realization that my husband's business trips might be something else entirely. How many other withdrawals had I missed? How many other lies had I believed? I drove back to Sweet Rewards in a daze, my mind racing with possibilities I didn't want to face. Emma was already there, preparing the afternoon's pastry display. "Just a banking error," I told her, trying to keep my voice steady while my hands shook over the laptop keyboard. That's when I saw it: dozens of transactions at online poker sites, wire transfers to offshore betting accounts, cash advances from 6 different casinos. The truth unfolded in the cardiac unit of Portland General. Nurse Jade, her purple-streaked hair catching the fluorescent light, sat beside my bed, reviewing my declined insurance. "Rachel," she said softly, "when was the last time you checked your coverage?" "Mark handles everything since my first attack," I replied. "And these names," she pointed to my visitor list, "are they family?" My heart monitor started beeping faster. Those weren't family names. They were loan sharks Mark had been borrowing from. The same men who'd been calling our house at 3 a.m., making threats I'd dismissed as wrong numbers. That night, Emma discovered the truth in Mark's home office. "Mom," she sobbed, holding up bank statements. "Dad's been forging your signature. He took out 3 mortgages on the house, the college fund. He lost it all at something called World Series of Poker." I flatlined when Emma showed me a video from Mark's phone. He was at a high-stakes poker table in Reno, pushing my wedding ring into the pot. "All in," his slurred voice declared. The timestamp showed it was from last Tuesday, the day he'd promised he was meeting with my cardiologist. The shock was too much for my heart. The room began to spin, my chest tightening with familiar, terrifying pressure. Emma's scream seemed distant as I collapsed. Everything after that was a blur. The ambulance, Emma holding my hand, the rush through emergency doors. In the cardiac unit, the monitors suddenly screamed their warning as my heart gave out. The code blue team rushed into my hospital room, equipment crashing and voices shouting. Through my fading consciousness, I heard Emma's terrified scream mix with the chaos. But above it all, Nurse Jade's steady voice cut through. "Rachel, fight. Your daughter needs you more than ever." Later, Jade shared her own story. "My ex was a gambling addict too," she said, showing me her phone. "Look familiar?" The screen showed the same betting apps we'd found on Mark's devices. He started with sports betting, moved to poker, then underground games. By the end, he'd remortgaged our house 3 times. That's why I became a nurse, to help other women recognize financial abuse before it kills them. "Your mother needs emergency bypass surgery," Dr. Sam explained, his normally composed face showing hints of urgency. "Without insurance, we're looking at $200,000. He gestured at the cardiac monitors, their steady beeping a grim reminder of how precarious my situation was. "The arterial blockage is severe, and based on these latest tests, we can't afford to wait," he explained. Emma gripped my hand tighter, her college ring pressing into my palm. I watched her face crumple as she mentally calculated our resources. The bakery's monthly revenue, her college fund gone, the house mortgaged beyond value. Her hands trembled as she pulled out her phone, opening her banking app. "We have about $3,000 in savings," she whispered, her voice breaking. "I can sell my car. That's maybe another $12,000. My laptop, my camera equipment." She was babbling now, tears streaming down her face as she listed every possession she owned. Dr. Sam glanced at the clock, his pen tapping against my chart. "The surgery needs to happen within the next 48 hours. I understand your situation is complicated." His eyes lingered on the visitor warning list taped to my door, the one keeping Mark's loan sharks away. "I can have our financial services department look into emergency assistance programs, but with no insurance." The monitor's beeping increased as panic set in. Emma was already on her phone, texting everyone we knew. Aunt Laura, Uncle Mike, Mom's old college roommate. She looked up at Dr. Sam, her mascara streaking down her cheeks. "We'll find the money, somehow. Please, just don't let her." She couldn't finish the sentence. Emma sold everything she could. Her car went first, then her laptop. She called every relative we had. My sister Laura arrived from Seattle, taking one look at the pile of casino markers and calling her lawyer friend, who specialized in gambling addiction cases. That's when Mark's lawyer called. "He's in a rehabilitation facility in Vegas," he said smoothly. "4th time's the charm. He wants to work things out." "4th time?" Emma exploded. "How many rehabs has he been to?" The lawyer sighed. "He completed programs in 2019, 2021, and earlier this year. Each time he convinced your mother he was away at sales conferences. The commission checks you've been getting? All loans from underground gambling syndicates." Recovery came in unexpected ways. Our bakery customers, many of whom had lost loved ones to gambling addiction, organized fundraisers. Laura's lawyer helped us navigate bankruptcy protection and negotiate with creditors. Jade's support group introduced me to other survivors of financially abusive gambling addicts. "The casino always wins," Jade told me during a late-night chat, "but so can you. Surviving financial abuse takes more courage than any poker game." Emma discovered her own path, combining business courses with running support groups for children of gambling addicts. Together, we rebuilt Sweet Rewards, this time with ironclad financial protections. Today, our tiny apartment above the bakery holds more value than our old house ever did, because this time we understand the true cost of addiction and financial abuse. The gambling debts are slowly being resolved through legal channels, and the loan sharks can't touch our new business. More importantly, Emma and I are learning that sometimes the biggest win comes from walking away from the table entirely. Family, my story illuminates how addiction and financial abuse often intertwine, creating chains stronger than steel and deeper than any casino's pockets. The marks they leave aren't always visible. They hide in drained bank accounts, forged signatures, and stolen futures. Remember, financial abuse, whether fueled by addiction or control, is still abuse. It can kill just as surely as any physical violence, destroying not just bank accounts, but lives. If you recognize these patterns, reach out. Help is available, and you deserve to write your own story of survival. Your experience could be the warning sign someone else needs to see. Remember that sometimes the bravest bet is the one you place on yourself. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more stories of survival and triumph. Your support helps us reach others who might be silently facing similar battles. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and remember, you're not alone in this fight. For resources on financial abuse and gambling addiction support, check out the links in the description. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message, share this video with them. It could be the lifeline they need. Until next time, stay strong, stay vigilant, and keep sharing your stories with the HeartStrings family.